This is Glow in the Dark Radio. The science fiction podcast with original independent science fiction written and performed by Mike Luoma, with music by Kevin MacLeod. The Vatican Assassin Trilogy and The Adventures of Alibi Jones by Mike Luoma are available in ebook, trade paperback, and audiobook wherever you find your books online. Get links and details at glowinthedarkradio.com. This is the Science Fiction Podcast, Glow in the Dark Radio. I'm your host, your writer and reader, Mike Luoma, and I have Chapter 4 of Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest coming up on this episode. Alibi Jones's past is catching up with him, as the news he's responsible for Kismet blowing up has been leaked by someone in the Solar Alliance Interplanetary Force, the SAIF, or SAFE. Now the media is after him, and everyone wants in on the story. Meanwhile, we've also been following along as the crews of the Librecampista and Librecampista de Dos have been encountering what may be a ghost and a ghost ship in deep space. More on that in a bit. Join us now as Alibi Jones figures out his next steps with some help from his Aunt Anita, in Chapter 4 of Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest, coming up on Glow in the Dark Radio. In book news, I wanted to let you know that the Smashwords end-of-year sale is about to get underway. The Smashwords 2025 end-of-year sale begins on Monday, December 8th. It runs through January 1st, the first day of 2026. And I've got a few of my books on special. The ones that are $4.99, the ebooks that are $4.99, you can now get for just $2.49. They're 50% off. So $2.49. $2.49 for Alibi Jones, the Chronological Omnibus, for Vatican Assassin, the trilogy, under one cover, and for the new Star-Lord and the Guardians of the Galaxy comic book history. All of those are 50% off, usually $4.99, just $2.49 for the ebooks during the Smashwords 2025 end-of-year sale. And I've also gone a little bit further for those of you listening to this podcast. I've made the ebook of the novel that we're listening to, Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest, free. So you can get this standalone novel, apart from the Omnibus, as a free ebook during this sale. I just figured since we're doing it on the podcast, I'd include it that way. So again, that's the Smashwords 2025 end-of-year sale. I will put a link in the show notes, or just go to smashwords.com. Begins on Monday the 8th and goes through January 1st, 2026, with your chance to get 3 of my books at half price and Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest for free. A big thank you to patrons who help keep the podcast going. All my bills come due about this time of year, so I'm like, oh, thank God I've got patrons. If you can help, I would love it. I just do this as a voluntary thing. So it's crowdsourced through Patreon with patrons. And you can become a part of that and help make this happen by going to patreon.com/glowinthedarkradio. All one word. I could use your help. Some people have had to kind of scale things back a little bit. So if you can help out, join in for $2, $5, or $10 a month. I do try to get you episodes early. This one should be early for patrons. You should have gotten this like Friday afternoon sometime. And when I'm working on new material, you get that too, before anybody else. So if you can help, please join me on Patreon, patreon.com/glowinthedarkradio, and become a patron for $2, $5, or $10 a month. And that is all I've got for book news. We're going to get into Chapter 4 of Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest up next on Glow in the Dark Radio.
Wake up. Go to work. Work. Come home. Eat dinner. Rot your brain out. Go to bed. Lather. Rinse. Repeat. Are you tired of an old humdrum life? Tired of things that just weigh you down and depress you? Wouldn't you rather just focus on things that are awesome? Tune into Nutty Bites. Find out what's awesome. Nutty Bites. nimlas.org/blog.
Now here's Chapter 4 of Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest on Glow in the Dark Radio. Alibi turned his back on the press and walked back into his aunt's place, the media clamor silenced as the door closed behind him. Media, Alibi sighed as he spotted his aunt walking towards him. What were you thinking? His Aunt Anita asked. You know you can't go out there right now. Was sleeping, kinda forgot when I woke up, he explained. Why do they even care about Kismet? Because they cover the story, their ratings go up, she said. Probably. She shook her head. But don't worry about them. What? He asked. Why not? You won't need to soon. You're not going to have to answer to Brandywine anymore either. She smiled a crooked half-smile. We've figured out what to do with you, Allie. That makes it sound like I'm a problem child or something. Geesh. I tried to protect you, Anita said. But too many people know who you are, Alibi Jones. She gave his name just a hint of playful emphasis. So, we're going to make it look like you're being discharged from the mediation corps and the safe. We'll set Brandywine up to do it without knowing our intent. She'll play the role well in her ignorance. She'll enjoy that way too much, Alibi cracked. And? Is it like you thought? Am I really reassigned? Alibi asked his aunt. Transferred and reassigned, Anita said. A whole different division. You won't be in the mediation corps anymore, Alibi. You really can't be. As I said, even without proof, the talk of your complicity in the Kismet affair impacts your ability to be a trusted actor in any negotiation. Alibi sighed, loud with drama and effect. It was an accident, he said. I know, she said. And, more importantly, they know, the safe brass. That's why you're still in the Solar Alliance Interplanetary Force, though we will make it look otherwise. So I am still in. Well, that's good. Only because of you, probably, Alibi said, almost pouting. He often felt like a 12-year-old kid around her. She glared at him, then softened. That may well be true, Anita conceded. But don't get too used to me always being here, Allie. God help us, it's a long time from now, but I won't always be able to back you up. I know, he said. And I love that you're always there for me, Aunt Anita. He gave his aunt a hug. She squeezed him back, but then pulled away, looking up at him. It's going to be hard for me to watch out for you on this new assignment, Alibi, she said. We had to get you off the beaten path, out of sight and out of mind. Uh-oh, Alibi said. That sounds kind of ominous. You're being transferred to safe covert ops, she said. Oh, Alibi stared back at his aunt. Covert ops? Covert. Undercover. Out beyond the boundaries of the Solar Alliance, she said. Alibi brightened. Against the Greater Ta? He asked. Happy to. Probably not, she said. I'm afraid you'd be too conspicuous on that front, Alibi. The Greater Ta know you already. He frowned. You'll be on the opposite side of the solar system from the conflict with the Greater Ta, she said. Transporting cargoes. Out past Depot. Oh, he said again. He looked away, uncomfortable. What? They don't like me much out that way either, Alibi said. I ruffled a lot of feathers going through there on my way out to Metcalf. Whose? She asked. Keeler and Singh's on Depot? Yeah, Alibi said. You know them? They asked for loads of cash when I was picking up your old star charts for Metcalf. Wentworth helped me pay them off. His aunt frowned at the mention of Wentworth. The frown snapped away. Did you hear he died? She asked. Richard Wentworth. I did, Alibi said. Too bad. He lived long enough, Anita cracked. Alibi looked at her, a little surprised. What? She asked. Don't speak ill of the dead? The man was easily over 100. I'm sure he employed any manner of anti-aging techniques to live this long. And I wouldn't put it past him to have had his brain somehow uploaded into some giant computer somewhere. The ancient enemy could do that, Alibi said. Using their time travel technologies. They'd go body to body. That's how Azimuth got here. But even they'd screw it up once in a while. Alibi's mind flashed back to the hunger for a moment. He shook his head to clear it. Krish hasn't been able to come anywhere near duplicating that. Well, if anyone could find a way to do it, it would be Krish, she said. And if anyone could afford to have had it done, it would have been Wentworth. Alibi laughed. You think that's far-fetched? Not a possibility? His aunt asked. She looked at him intently. Alibi grew wide-eyed. What? Krish working for Wentworth? No way! Anita let a grin slip out. Of course not, she said. And if he had, I would know about it. There was communication between them over the years, but no exchanges of funds that we could track. How does she know this stuff? Alibi once again made a mental note not to cross his aunt. And, you know what? What I was saying before? Before he died, Wentworth took care of our depot problem, Anita said. What? Keeler and Singh were busted trying to shake down one of Richard Wentworth's companies, she said. Turned out that was the tip of the iceberg. They were dirty. Bribes, kickbacks, special favors, protection. Pretty bad. Doesn't surprise me, Alibi said. That's why they didn't like me. Didn't want to play their games. There's someone new out there now, she said. I forget his name, Shark something. Doesn't matter. You won't be dealing with him. Well, not directly. Not in the chain of command. I won't? Alibi asked. You're not going to be based on Depot, Alibi. You'll be out well past the old colony. And you'll be covert ops, undercover. It's not like you'll be checking in with the local safe commander out there. This is starting to sound pretty wild, Alibi said, smiling. His aunt frowned. It's dangerous, Alibi, she said. Not fun and games. Beyond the Solar Alliance border, there are smaller colonies, independent states, some warlords. No one as big as Rene Lavalore on this side of things, but many who aspire to be like him. Others are just independent traders trying to make a buck by running commerce and other things. Scum, Alibi said. Exactly, Anita agreed. But for the most part, the sheer number of indies operating out there keep any one of them from getting too big. Most are one or maybe two ship operations. Some succeed, many fail, or settle down. New guys make a go of it all the time and take their place. And I get to pretend I'm a new guy? Anita looked Alibi in the eye, to be sure she had his attention. You are going to be a new guy, Alibi, she said. You'll have to start actively running cargo between planets. It's got to be believable as your cover. We'll set up some runs to get you started. But where the other indie traders supplement their cargo income with illegal smuggling and other less savory secret trade, your secret cargoes supplementing your trade income will be safe assignments. Alibi blinked. For a moment, he felt as if he was in free fall. His life was about to change completely. Everything he'd worked for with the Mediation Corps was over. About to head out into the unknown. Alone. Alone? He asked. He was assuming too much. Is this a solo mission? No, Anita said. You'll have a cruiser and a crew, and a small home base. A base? Alibi asked. A base, she said. Code name, the Hornet's Nest, an old safe forward base set up just beyond Solar Alliance space. Better still, the Dakur have agreed to back this mission. They still work with us covertly, and they'll provide your second-in-command. Having different races on the crew will make your cover more believable. Can we get Kit? Alibi asked. No, Anita said, shaking her head. I did try. He refused the assignment, we were informed.
But we have been offered his brother Cat. Oh, Alibi said, disappointed. And the safe will be providing you with a small staff as well, she said. Do I get to pick them? He asked. Well, Anita said, considering. Why? Someone you had in mind? Alibi was thinking about a safe trooper, Emily, he'd met a couple of months ago. She'd helped save his life after he was taken prisoner during the Time War. Beyond that, in one timeline he'd been shown by the Devrisium, where Alibi had been an old man in his 90s, Emily had been his wife of many years. In this timeline, however, Alibi had only met her that once, when she'd helped rescue him from the Devrisium. Sure, Alibi said. A safe trooper I met a few weeks ago. Name's Emily Brown. Is there something you're not telling me, Alibi? Anita asked, intrigued. Nope, Alibi said. Not yet, anyway. We've only met once, in this version of reality. But I was married to her for years in one of the timelines the Devrisium put me into during the Time War. Oh. Thought it might be good to get to know her better, in this life. I'll see what I can do, Anita told Alibi, as she shook her head. Lieutenant Nathan Brisby has been assigned as your liaison with the safe hierarchy. I picked him out. He is your Mercury, your messenger. But I'm afraid you and I won't be able to be in touch often. We'll find a way, Aunt Anita, Alibi reassured her. She grasped him in a firm hug, as if she'd never get the chance to hug him again. Oh, it's good to get away. I do it nearly every day. If you ask me what I'll say, you should try it now, today. Alibi made up the words, singing as he cleaned the floor to one of the ship's bays. Over his last 2 weeks spent alone, he'd discovered that most of the ship's bays in the Hornet's Nest's port had great natural reverb, a perfect echo for singing. Alibi imagined himself playing with a band in the bay. Hello, Hornet's Nest! Nest, nest, nest. The words echoed in the emptiness. The abandoned station could hold a crew of hundreds, but Alibi was all alone. For the moment, the members of his new covert ops team would be joining him over the course of the next 2 weeks. This next one is the first song on our new album. Bum, bum, bum. Alibi heard a sound, like skin smacking skin. Someone was clapping. Someone's clapping? I heard you singing before, the woman said, as she walked into the light of the ship's bay. Alibi recognized her. Emily. He smiled. And you were still clapping, he joked. Because you stopped, she said, a playful look in her hazel eyes. Don't quit your day job, Alibi Jones. How'd you get in? I didn't hear you land, Alibi asked. She laughed. I didn't land, she said. I infiltrated, putting my week-long crash course in covert ops to good use. A whole week? Alibi asked, with a touch of sarcasm. You didn't hear me come in, she pointed out. Alibi grinned. Touché. They dropped me off, she said. Just synced up to one of the external airlocks. So, I'm assuming you have a ship? She asked. She looked around the empty bay. Is it invisible? Because that would be pretty cool. It's a couple bays over. Average run-of-the-mill cruiser that's been demilitarized. Well, apparently demilitarized, you know? Can I see it? Sure, Alibi said. It is visible. She rolled her eyes. Alibi chuckled as he led her down to the cruiser. He turned on the ship bay's lights so Emily could check it out. She looked up admiringly at the battered but solid front hull and smiled back at Alibi. She turned to continue her visual appraisal. Inspecting the cruiser, Emily walked toward the stern, around past the engines, and down the other side. That's a good-looking ship, she said, as she returned to Alibi. I've had her for a while, he said. I almost feel bad turning her into a cargo carrier. An apparent cargo carrier, she corrected him, with his own word. Can we board? Sure, Alibi said. He led her to the nearest airlock. You want a tour? Love one, she said. He opened the airlock and led Emily inside. The cruiser wasn't huge, but large enough to carry a crew of 8 comfortably. Could carry double that uncomfortably, as the 8 cabins were large enough to hold 2 apiece, if needed. Each cabin had its own refresher. The ship's medical unit was small and fully automated, with a one-bed attached sickbay. The galley and common area weren't very large, only 4 crew members could eat comfortably at any one time. The dining area lost space to the new configuration of the expanded cargo hold, though their hold was still smaller than those found on most ships this size. That was because the cruiser needed space for its extra-large power plant, used to drive its more powerful than average engines, and the hidden blaster batteries tucked near the back of the ship. Alibi showed Emily around the cruiser, finishing the short tour on the bridge, showing off the 10 seats on the bridge, the captain and co-pilot's chairs up front, a science station behind the captain, and a navigation and engineering station behind the co-pilot, where Emily would be working. There were 2 unassigned seats next, and 4 along the back wall. "So, there you have it," Alibi said, pounding on the back of one of the seats. "The cruiser in all her glory." "Can tell you 2 have bonded," Emily said. "Oh yeah," Alibi said. "My longest ever relationship." Longest ever relationship. The phrase triggered a memory, a flashback in Alibi's mind, an old woman with Emily's hazel eyes. Emily spoke. She asked Alibi a question he didn't hear. Alibi's mind was elsewhere.
That was Chapter 4 of Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest on Glow-in-the-Dark Radio. And we're out at the Hornet's Nest. That is the solution that they've come up with for getting Alibi out of the public eye. Alibi is now safe covert ops. And Emily Brown has just appeared, or infiltrated. And Kit's brother, is due in as well. Undercover on an old asteroid base, the Hornet's Nest. Kat and other crew members will be arriving in Chapter 5 of Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest, coming up on our next episode of Glow-in-the-Dark Radio. Again, a recap of book news, a thank you to patrons, and an encouragement to become one if you're listening to the podcast, enjoy what you hear, and want to support it. You can do it for $2, $5, or $10 a month, completely voluntary. And you sign up to do so at patreon.com/glowinthedarkradio. Just head there and get all the details. And the Smashwords 2025 end-of-year sale begins December 8th, runs through January 1st, 2026. I've got 3 books that are on sale for 50% off, usually $4.99. They'll be $2.49 a piece. That's the Alibi Jones Chronological Omnibus, the Vatican Assassin Trilogy, under one cover, and the new paperback, or, well, not so new, but relatively new paperback of Star-Lord and the Guardians of the Galaxy Unofficial Comic Book History, 2nd edition. Each of those is 50% off through the rest of the month of December, beginning on the 8th through the 1st of January of the new year. And during the sale, Alibi Jones and the Hornet's Nest, the ebook of that one novel, is also available for free because we're featuring it here on the podcast. All part of the Smashwords 2025 end-of-year sale, and you can look for the link in the show notes. And that is all for this week. I'm your host, your writer and reader, Mike Luoma. Thank you again for listening to Glow-in-the-Dark Radio. Glow-in-the-Dark Radio. This podcast presentation is copyright 2025 by Michael F. Luoma and is protected under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License, CC by NCND 4.0. Music by Kevin MacLeod. You can find his work at Incompetech.com. Mike's books are available in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. wherever you find books online. Get links and more details at glowinthedarkradio.com and MikeLuoma.com. This has been a presentation of Glow in the Dark Radio.